from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Monday, 14th October 2024, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi, and this is the day that the Lord has made. Of course, we will rejoice and be glad in it. We will be thankful for the gift of life because God has spared our lives to see another day. And what a beautiful Monday morning it is. So lovely on the outside this morning. The birds are chirping, the wind is blowing, and there are so many things that we can be thankful for. So remember to look for something today. Find a moment to give thanks for what you have been afforded, which is the gift of life. Just look around at creation itself and give thanks to the Almighty for being here to enjoy what is provided for you. We have a lovely show for you this morning, and we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming. We're always so happy that you choose us and make us your number one choice for a morning show here in Tobago. It's because of you that we are who we are, and we continue to bring news and conversations to you that impact your lives happening here in and around the Tobago. But before we get into all the conversations about what we're going to talk about today, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, October 14th, 2024. Tobago has recorded another murder, raising the island's 2024 murder toll to 25. The victim, identified as 37-year-old Mark Archer, also known as Marcus, held dual citizenship in Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. Archer's body was discovered by a passerby around 8 a.m. yesterday on the beach behind the A&R Robinson International Airport runway with a wound to his neck. He was employed by the FM Contractors Limited and was working on the new airport project. Up next, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines called on young people to actively contribute to enhancing Trinidad and Tobago's disaster preparedness. Hines delivered a statement at the International Day for Disaster Reduction, aligned with this year's theme, Empowering the Next Generation for Disaster Resilience. He praised the young people for strengthening resilience at all levels and urged them to expand their knowledge of disaster management while inspiring others to do same amid rise climate-related risk. And finally, Tabaquite MP Anita Haynes-Allen has called for a cultural shift in Trinidad and Tobago to address the issue of bullying across various sectors. Haynes-Allen emphasized the need to create safe, supportive environments in school, workplaces, and society at large where people can thrive. She highlighted that bullying is prevalent not only among students, but also among peers, teachers, and individuals in position of power contributing to a toxic environment and poor mental health. She urged the nation to reflect and act on these issues to prevent this critical moment in the nation's history from being overlooked. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And, a few things standing out there in the news this morning. That body that was found yesterday morning, I believe it was. And, of course, condolences to the family of the deceased. And I'm hoping that we're getting a handle on things. We had a little quiet spell, and I was really thankful and hopeful for that. But, we have to do what we have to do. We have to do what we have to do to keep our spaces safe. So hopefully we get some more information where that is concerned and we see what is happening there. I want to talk about the issue of bullying as well. And I like that call for the cultural shift there because, it's your mindset and things that you do, you make a decision to do these things. So you decide today, I'm going to be a bully. And that is what you end up doing. It's all about the choices that we make. And I really feel as if we make that investment to shift our focus, to shift our mindset and the way we do things and interpret things and the way we relate with each other, we will actually change our actions and, show more love and concern for each other. So I'm hoping that the conversation can really be on a national level and even community to community, person by person, family by family, that we can start engaging in those types of conversations that will be meaningful and bring some measure of change here on the island of Tobago. Biana, it's Monday morning, a brand new week.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to most this week?
Productivity all the time, Madonna. But, before we talk about the situation of the upcoming week and what we look forward to, I want to give commendations to the TTPS in terms of finding that young lady who was missing
13-year-old
for a whole month.
Yeah,
and the mother was pleading, at least, come home, your mom is looking out for you. I mean, you may not be probably in agreement with things that she's saying or doing, but that plea was there, and I must give commendations to the TTPS for that.
And I really would like to hear, I mean the public would love to hear the whole story about where she was for the entire month. I mean, it might be a little bit emotional for the parents or the mother, knowing that, I mean, it's good that we found her, that she was found, but for an entire month, could you imagine the stress that this mother was going through, trying to figure out, where is my daughter, where is my daughter? So it would be nice to know what the story is behind it, as much as we can know without, causing too much emotional disturbance for the family, as it were. But, I do hope that, as you were saying there, that children, sometimes they don't agree with the things their parents do. Like they set boundaries, they set rules, and these rules and guidelines really are to ensure that you are living in a safe space, to provide guidance for you. As a young person, I remember at 13, I didn't know anything, and we think we know everything, but we don't. And, and I'm hoping that young people who are looking on and paying attention to what is happening will give that ear to their parents and to heed the guidance that they are giving them, because they're trying to provide a safe space for them. So Biana, of course, I want to wish you that productive week, and I like the fact that every week we come on here, you always talk about productivity, meaning progress, doing something and achieving something, so that you can reflect at the end of the week and say, yes, I did that. And for me, my productivity is going to be reading an entire book that I wanted to start on Sunday, which was yesterday. I did not get to start it. I will start it today, and I must complete it by Friday. So I challenge myself there to read that book.
Awesome.
Right. And I look forward to your results of your productivity this week as well come Friday morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Biana, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to celebrate with those who are celebrating. We head on out to our birthday shout-outs. Of course, this morning we join with Rhonda Bishop. We join with Rhonda Bishop to give God thanks for life. Yes, he has spared her life to see another day, another year, and another chapter. So happy birthday to you, Rhonda. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, Rhonda. Happy birthday to you. Keelan Whitlock. Keelan Whitlock is also celebrating a birthday, and Keelan, we want to say happy birthday to you. This is a creative, a representative here of the creative industry here on the island of Tobago, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Keelan. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that as you continue to put your hands into the art of creativity, that you produce much more than you are doing right now. So happy birthday to you, and God's blessings upon your life. Natasha Brown Allen, this is a belated birthday for Natasha Brown Allen. We want to say happy birthday to you as well. We do hope that you had a wonderful birthday and that you go into this year and this chapter with great plans, and we do hope that those plans are made manifest for you. So happy birthday to you there. Guess who had a birthday as well? Sharon Phillips. Yes, she also celebrated a birthday, and we want to say happy birthday to Sharon, another artist, an artistic prowess here on the island of Tobago. If you know Sharon at all, wow, the talent that is embodied in Sharon. We want to say happy birthday to you, Sharon, and we pray God's blessings upon your life. And we do hope as you continue to create that you get the ideas and the inspiration, divine inspiration, as you continue to create. So happy birthday to you as well. Keela Whitlock St. Helier, she celebrated a birthday over the weekend, and we want to say happy belated birthday to her as well. Happy birthday, Keela. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we pray that as you enter this new season in your life, that the pages on your chapter are beautifully written. So happy birthday to you. And we round up the birthday celebrations by wishing Latoya Horsford a happy birthday as well. Latoya Horsford is also celebrating a birthday today, and we want to wish Latoya all the very best this year. So happy birthday to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates television family. And for those of you who are celebrating a birthday, even though we don't have your photographs, we join in the celebrations with you as well. We say happy birthday to all of you. And remember to give God thanks for life. For no man can give life unto himself except God gives life to him. So remember to find a moment and give God thanks for bringing you into this new phase and stage of your life. It's Monday morning, so you might be wondering what is in my cup. What is in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights, and this morning I'm drinking sorrel bay leaf tea. Yes, LCJ Delights is a producer of teas, porridges, flours for your pancakes and waffles and all your breakfast ingredients there. They also do an assortment of mixed nuts, premium mixed nuts, yes, all locally produced here on the island of Tobago. So contact them for your cup of tea this morning. Who are we speaking with? It's Monday morning, and there are lots of things we need to speak about, and we're going to be speaking with a representative from the TTPS. We're going to be speaking with Inspector Sheila Prince this morning as she brings the updates for us, and we're also going to have a conversation about the crime of bullying. We've been hearing a lot of bullying circulating in our spaces here, both in Trinidad and Tobago, and more so in Tobago in recent. We've seen the numbers increasing, and so we want to have a serious conversation where that is concerned, and I hope that you can stay with us as we go through the phases, as we get the information, we learn what we need to learn so we can position ourselves better to safeguard ourselves from bullying and also to deal with the situation of bullying as it arises in our spaces. So we do hope that you can stay with us. For all of you who are viewing us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplia 102, we say welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for choosing us this morning, whether you're viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, the continent of Africa or Asia, or even there in Australia. We say welcome and thank you so much for choosing us, and we're happy that you have made us your choice for programming this morning. Do stay with us before we begin conversations this morning, but as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Blue food came from dasheen locally. We look at dasheen, which when you boil it, you get a blue coloration.
Are you ready for Tobago Blue Food Festival 2024? Join us on October 20th for an unforgettable celebration of Tobago's unique cuisine. Enjoy live cooking demonstrations, local music, and cultural performances throughout the day. This festival has something for every palate. It's all happening October 20th in Bloody Bay. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info and make sure you're part of this one-of-a-kind culinary event.
Kyrie People presents Runaway. Runaway Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach from 12 noon to 7 p.m. with the All-Stars Band featuring College Boy Jesse
Who want to drink rum with me? Everybody come there.
and Ding Dong.
I wanna Ramadan and drink something and break away.
Guest artist Mama Nappy
Hey you, can you have a hold on me what you want me to
and
do?
Waddings. Your DJ's Mighty Crush and Selected 3D. Your MC, Snoopy. This is a $600 premium all-inclusive event. Get your tickets now at Sands Fashion, D Coliseum Mall, Jade Monkey, Lust Restaurant and Lounge, Gold City Mall, Gonzalez One Stop Shop Scarborough, and Dakers Beauty Supply Sport Mall. The after party is at Jade Monkey Bar and Grill. For more info, call 483-2264, 742-1674, or 731-5916. Runaway, Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach, Tobago.
them I gone. I said, tell them I gone. Don't even bother calling me. Tell them.
Tobago Carnival is just around the corner, and Bethel Credit Union has you covered. Whether you're prepping for costumes, parties, giveaways, or a staycation, it's all within your reach with our Carnival loan sale. For as little as $900 a month, yes, $900 a month, you can get the funds you need to make this Carnival season unforgettable. At Bethel Credit Union, we're here to make your celebration dreams a reality. Visit us today or call 639-8226 for more information. Normal lending criteria applies, because we see you at BCU.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We start off our conversations this morning by speaking with Inspector Sheila Prince from the TTPS. Of course, she's going to bring us weekly updates on the TTPS as the things happening on the island of Tobago as crime is concerned. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana, and thanks for having me here, and good morning to all your viewers and your listeners this morning.
And you know, it's always a pleasure speaking with a representative from TTPS, primarily because we get the information directly from you guys in terms of what is happening on the island. And just coming out of the weekend, yesterday, there was a discovery of a body on the beach. I think it's behind the A&R Robinson International Airport. Yes, and of course, we want to get the updates in terms of that particular crime and also things that have been happening in the space over the past week or so.
Okay, so let me extend condolences to Mr. Marcus Archer family. He's a non-national from a Ghanaian national. And he was found yesterday with his throat slit behind the airport. I don't have any additional information for that. It's just unfortunate. And going forward, the Trinidad and Tobago, the Tobago Divisional Task Force recovered 26 assorted wrongs last week. And in law enforcement, each wrong represents a life saved. So we just want to applaud the task force for such a good recovery. And if you go to Crown Point, there was a recovery of over 50 marijuana blocks, a total of 29.7 kilograms. And that inquiry is continuing, it's ongoing. And if we touch in our capital, you see that the record has resumed. So between last week, we had 71 vehicles wrecked. So that is telling the TTPS on the island of Tobago, just in Scarborough alone, that person are still parking indiscriminately. So we just want them to pay attention to the no parking signs in and around Scarborough.
And you know, I want to touch a little bit before you move on the no parking zones. There are signs.
There are signs.
I have been in Scarborough, even, you know, in Tobago in general, just on the nation's roads, and you will see no parking, you will see no vending, and you'll see people parking there and vending there. So I am trying to figure out, is it that they can't see it? If I can see it, I'm not understanding what is happening. And, you know, the fact now that you are seeing that the wrecker is back, that's a good thing. It will probably hinder them from doing that. But I'm trying to figure out the thought process. If you see a sign that says no parking, it's a big blue sign. Sometimes they have the, what do you call them, the barriers?
Yes, that blue sign that says no parking,
no
or about the
parking.
commissioner, or even those ones that are tall, embedded on the ground, about 6 feet tall,
Exactly.
on a pole.
And they have some even painted on the ground. It says no parking.
People take chances. That is what motorists do. They take chances. They don't expect the police to be on every corner, so they take chances.
But why do you have to wait for the police to tell you don't park there if there's a sign that says no parking? And these are the things I have challenges with. Why are we being lawless? I think I call it being lawless and reckless, because if there are guidelines, there's a reason why there are rules and guidelines. No parking in front of a fire hydrant. You know this. Why are you parking there? In the event of an incident, what is going to happen? You park your vehicle, you leave and you go wherever you are. Nobody knows where you are. Nobody knows who's the owner of this vehicle. You go away for hours at a time. Nobody can contact you. There's an emergency. What happens?
Adana, as I said, some motorists, they just do the most. They just forget about the no parking. They forget about it's a lawless society, and we are trying to curb that.
And the other thing is very frustrating, because the way how Scarborough is now, a lot of vehicles come into Scarborough, and, you know, there really is a challenge for parking. And as you said, some people take chances. They might be thinking, oh, just running into the supermarket to grab something, I could put my car in the corner here. But you go into the supermarkets, you're expecting to meet maybe 2 persons, and they meet 50. And it's still longer than you expected. And so you're causing an inconvenience on the outside, traffic pile up, and you know,
an obstruction. Yes, it happens. It happens every day. It happens every day, and I want to commend the officers under the astute leadership of Woman Sergeant Danielle Kirk and her team. Excellent job. I want to commend you. They do work very hard. And what we see happening too, Adana, is that quite a number of persons in the last 2 months have gone before the court, never been issued with a driving permit. So persons just wake up one morning and just say, I feel to drive today. And they take a vehicle and they go, have never been issued. So we have quite a number of persons before the court, driving never been issued. So I just want to urge everybody to do the right thing. Go get your license and drive the vehicle.
Listen, I want to talk to our viewers this morning, okay? Let us do the right thing. Let us do what is right, even when nobody is looking. You know it is not right to park in a no parking zone. You are not supposed to drive a motor vehicle without a driver's permit or driver's license, as we call it. Please ensure that you have the right, the authority to do so, the right to do so, the license to do so before you take a vehicle. Your insurances as well.
Correct. The insurance gives you permission to be on that road. If in case you get into an accident, it is valid. So before you go into your vehicle, check to see if you have a driver's permit, the insurance for your vehicle. And when you sit in your vehicle, just pull the safety belt.
That's the other issue.
Just pull your safety belt. It goes when driving.
The other thing I want to talk about as we're talking about driving is using your indicator in your vehicle. I have a serious challenge driving behind someone who makes a sudden turn without indicating. And then here you are as the driver behind this person, having to drive for yourself and 3 other vehicles behind you because this person made a sudden turn or a sudden stop without indicating. And now you have to use your reflexes to try to drive safely without causing a collision behind you.
Well, Adana too, and that's why we always stay 3 car lengths behind someone. It may not always be practical. However, when you're not driving for yourself. So I always advise persons when you're driving, just stay 1 car length, 2 car length. In case a person decides to stop suddenly or to just swing on you without indicating, you will have enough time to stop instead of causing an accident. So we have to be careful.
Yeah, we have to be careful, mindful, and we have to think about other people when we're using the nation's roads, because the roads are for all of us to use and to enjoy. I want to continue with the updates in terms of criminal activity on the island, apprehension and persons before the court, and just to give us some data as to where we are, where that is concerned.
Well, for the past week, we have seen several persons before we have a warrant exercises has continued. There is a joint army patrol, but the TTR, with the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. So we have been working assiduously. We have persons have been before the court in the last week. So we continue to do our anti-crime exercises. Our operation, as we normally call it, it's ongoing. It has not stopped.
Okay, good. And, you know, I always want to continue to encourage communities to come out and help the TTPS, of course, because we live in this space. And, you know, we want to live safe, peacefully, and, you know, we want to ensure that we can enjoy our space here on the island of Tobago. So, of course, if you see something, say something. If you see something strange happening in your neighborhood, somebody you've not seen before, some type of activity that doesn't look legit, you can contact the TTPS,
yes,
or, you know, one of those agencies who provided anonymity, that you can call them anonymously, give the information, and ensure that we kind of curb crime as much as we can here on the island of Tobago. We have to go for a very, very short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about bullying. We've seen an increase, especially in our schools. It also happens in the workplace. It happens online. And so we want to talk about bullying this morning, and the criminal aspects of bullying, and how to protect yourself from that type of action. We have to go for a short break before we come back. But as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live. Share the live. Share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna. Look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Attention soldiers, are you ready for the ultimate mission for Tobago Carnival? It's time to gear up for Army Fed Operation Rocks Glow.
I feel like I run in tongue again. No place like
We're taking the vibes out to the countryside, where a premier cast of live entertainment will be pumping all night long. Army Fat Operation Rocks Glow. Join us on Thursday, 24th October at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex, Roxborough, for the high-energy Wear White Soca Bashment Rocks Glow. Army Fed Tobago. Operation Rocks Glow. Clary People presents Runaway. Runaway Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Picture Point Beach from 12 noon to 7 p.m. with the All-Stars Band featuring College Boy Jesse
Who want to drink from with me? Everybody come there.
And Dig Dog.
I wanna Ramadan and drink something and break away.
Guest artist Mama Nappy.
Hey, you
DJs Mighty Crush and Selected 3D. Your MC, Snoopy. This is a $600 premium all-inclusive event. Get your tickets now at Sans Fashion, D Coliseum Mall, Shade Monkey, Lust Restaurant and Lounge, All City Mall, Gonzalez One Stop Shop Scarborough, and Dickers Beauty Supply Sport Mall. The after party is at Jade Monkey Bar and Grill. For more info, call 483-2264, 742-1674, or 731-5916. Runaway Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach, Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We continue conversations this morning with Inspector Sheila Prince. We head on into talking about bullying. Now we're going to start off with the question, what is bullying? So Inspector Prince, let's go through the pieces. What is bullying?
So Dana, bullying is a form of aggressive behavior which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes someone some little discomfort and injury. And there are different types of bullying. There are physical bullying, that is harming someone by the body by spitting on them, shoving them, pushing them. That's physical bullying, kicking them, and even damage to their property. So for example, your children go to school and they have a new book bag and somebody, envy, and they'll take that book bag and want to drop it in the toilet, and they might kick them, they might be passing, put their foot out and trip them. All of that is physical bullying. And there's another offense, another type of bullying is verbal bullying. That's where it involves words.
Name calling.
All right, we can demean, it can hurt person, saying that you're stupid and stuff like that. All right, so that is two of the most prominent, but it's not all. You have social bullying. That's where it aims of hurting someone's reputation. All right, and the relationship by spreading rumors about them, which is not truth. And we have, of course, electronic and cyberbullying, where we don't have any cyberbullying laws in Trinidad and Tobago. So it takes place through the digital devices. It includes sending text messages on social media and posting pictures and, hurtful comments on somebody's photos. And that is some of the types of bullying that we see happening in Trinidad and Tobago at this time.
And, it's very unfortunate that sometimes the actions that you have to take to prevent yourself from bullying could either turn you into a bully or could either be tragic.
Yes.
Like what we saw happening just last week or the week before with a young guy, 15 years.
15.
And thinking that his only solution, his only way out is out. And sometimes bullies, I don't know that they enter a situation thinking that that's going to be the end. They don't consider the fact that their bullying can be so extreme to somebody that they can't think of a way out of it. They don't know how to defend themselves, and they don't know how to stand up against a bully, and so they end up in these situations. And too often we see things like this happening. And I just want to take a moment to speak to people, if you permit me. Let us consider the most extreme outcome that could come from bullying before you attempt bullying. Even if you are going through something and you think that bullying is a way to make you feel mature, to make you feel as if you're in control, remember that you are doing this to someone else who might not be as strong. They might be very vulnerable, going through something else apart from what you are inflicting on them that will cause them to take a type of action that you don't want to be responsible for. You don't want to be responsible for somebody taking their lives because of your actions. So, I want to go through now some of the things you can do as somebody who might be prone to being bullied. How can you protect yourself, your space, from physical bullying, verbal bullying? What do you do to ensure that you can stand up against a bully without becoming a bully yourself?
Okay, so first, some measures that we can take. parents can educate their children on bullying. Some children, because of the age, they don't understand what bullying is. So you could talk to your child, do you know what bullying is? And just give them some examples where they can understand and which they can relate to. Another thing, talk frequently and openly to your children. So when you have that rapport with your children, it's easy for them to come and say, Mommy and Daddy, today someone has pulled my hair, cut my hair, and you know, all of that amongst the bullying. Another thing that you can do, you know, build your child's self-confidence. Build them up. Praise them. They like that. Good job. I love you. Build them. Make it sure in a positive role model outside there. You know, these are some of the things that we can do to help prevent bullying. But the most important thing you do, you must educate your children. All right, you can become the friend on social media. Go online with them. Pull up this stuff on bullying. Pull up the example because it's an international thing, bullying, right? So they can read about it. And even in some of the schools, we can, you know, the police service, we have the community-oriented police. They have their seminars at different schools throughout Tobago. So they go into the schools and they talk to the classes on educating them on bullying. And not only bullying for schools, they are bullying on the workplace. Some people feel bullying just deals with children, but on the workplace you have a supervisor, you know, talking down to you and not encouraging you, and you feel less of a person. So they're making you, you know, they're touching on your moral, making you feel small. You know, that all of these are amongst the bullying.
And you really have to encourage yourself, you know, especially as an adult. For a child, you can provide that measure of support to the child. But as an adult, you really have to dig deep and encourage yourself, you know, talk yourself through, because it can be difficult, you know. It really is very, very difficult, and something that we take for granted. You know, as last week was mental health, last week, Thursday was mental health day. And, you know, sometimes we really don't have the conversations we need to have.
Yes.
Because people suffer in silence. They go through things and they just have to swallow it, wear a mask, pretend everything is okay, and continue with their day. And it's very, very difficult for people to do what they have to do on a daily basis without feeling insignificant, without feeling, you know, like I'm not worth anything. And it's very, very difficult, especially for adults, because while we are here trying to encourage our children, telling them that you're such a handsome boy, you're such a clever boy, you're such a clever child, look at how brilliant you are, oh my gosh, I can't believe you got all of this right, you know, giving them all these praises, but who is praising the parents?
That is true. We struggle with bullying, you know. Adults, some adults, we do struggle with bullying, and you know, people might say self-praise is no praise, but you have to learn to find a way to motivate yourself. All right, motivate yourself.
There are situations that you go through that are unfortunate. Let's say, for instance, something didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. And then your colleagues or your peers, they're teasing you on this now. Big man, eh? I'm talking about adults now. Big man thing, as they say. And they start teasing you. A big man, you know, oh, thing, you know, this fall through and, you know, you and it is very, very difficult.
It is.
You know, bullying in the workplace in terms of not being afforded the opportunity for a promotion, for instance, is completely different to your peers teasing you because of something that happened or didn't happen for you. You know, and I find it to be very, very difficult.
It is difficult because some of us can't get away from that negative thought. Because, for instance, I may have a failed relationship, and you may know that, you know, my husband and we're no longer together. And some people might take that, hey, your husband leave here, so you're telling me that harsh words, and you know, you're feeling small, you're feeling bad, and you're telling yourself, how do I get over what that person just said? It hurt deep. So you go in a corner, you make yourself an introvert, you know. And what I do, for me, I seldom take on things, and even though I'm in my quiet place, I will reflect, but you know, I move on from it. Yeah, I move on from it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really is difficult.
It is difficult
and then everybody doesn't have that type of resilience. So, you know, I want us to start to create spaces where we can speak openly, access the services that are available in terms of providing that support for mental health when you're going through situations, so that you don't end up in a position where you can't recover from. Because we're really trying to self-preservation, you know, so we have to reach out to the agencies that provide that measure of support. Staying on the topic of bullying, you know, in schools, in the workplace, you know, knowing how to prevent bullying from happening. How do we change the culture? Because we're talking about talking to the child about what bullying is, and if anybody tells you anything, remind yourself that I am strong, I am powerful, I can do great things. How do you talk to the bully? The person who is prone to being a bully. What kind of conversation or what type of support? Because this person also needs support. How do you provide support for that person who is prone to being a bully?
So with the TTPS, we have a victim support unit. And sometimes we don't get to that unit maybe because everything comes in straight at your charge room level. So we have to deal with it. And what we try to do is, you know, find out the child who has been bullying, their headspace, find out what is going on. Because sometimes, you know, children mirror what they see. Sometimes children don't even realize that they're bullying, but when they come to the station, we try to understand what is happening. Maybe something at home, something that triggers you to behave like that. And sometimes it might be out of our control, so that's why we make recommendations for the victim youth support unit to talk to the children, the social worker that is available to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, to have some level of mediation with the child or the children involved in bullying.
And is there any additional community projects? Because I know sometimes I think crime and bullying are kind of go hand in hand. And you know, sometimes you provide community programs to keep youth off the streets, out of crime. But is there anything that is provided that will engage young people or engage people in general to make them feel a sense of self-worth? Because I feel as if bullying stems from a place of inadequacy. Like you feel like if you have to challenge somebody or you have to challenge something because you feel as if they think I'm nothing, so I'm going to show them who I am. Is there anything in place from the TTPS standpoint in terms of community work that provides that measure of support to help somebody to feel as if they are important and that they can contribute to society in a positive way, and so that they don't have to be a bully?
Yes, we do have seminars. As I said, the community-oriented police service unit, they go to the station, the different schools, and they have their seminars. They have all these stuff. But additionally, what they do is, you know, to enroll your children in the youth clubs within the district, and they have a lot of programs within that youth club. So we urge parents to enroll your children in the police youth club in the district in where you live, because there's a lot, you know, the police have a wealth of knowledge, and they would, you know, they want to have the homework center to bring in your children to doing the homework. Quite a lot of activities within the youth club programs that we have within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Absolutely amazing. And you know, I am here for it. I support it totally. And I know a lot of youths, young people who came up through the police youth club, and they're doing pretty well for themselves, you know. So I will encourage parents to send their children as much as they can to police youth clubs or any youth group or youth organization within your community or your area, so that they can be involved in things that are meaningful, sporting club, football, netball, basketball, something to get them engaged, and to let them be a part of something, even a choir, a chorale, you know. I feel as if a young person, once they feel as if they're a part of something, then they try to live up to the standards,
and they excel.
that they set there, because there are rules, there are guidelines. You have to come, let's say practice or rehearsals or training is from 5 to 7. You have to be there from 5 to 7. So there's that type of, you know, guidelines that they have to follow, rules they have to follow. There might be regulations. You have to wear a uniform. You have to hold your hair back a certain way. You have to, you know, so there are those types of guidelines that help them to become a more responsible person. So I will endorse the fact that children should join some type of group or club that will help them to improve their skills, their social skills, and that will of course reduce the possibility of bullying in schools and wherever they are, and they grow up to be adults who are more responsible and who are, of course, are leaders and set good examples wherever they go. What else can we learn about bullying?
As I wanted to share that, you know, we don't have an offense called bullying. However, there are offenses that persons can be charged. Assault by beating, that physical, that kick, that cuff, that spitting. We have harassment, but harassment is over. It's a repeated action. It's not a one time and you'll be charged for harassment. And then there's assault by threats. You know, I will kill you. you know, telling somebody that, you know, those are the offenses that persons can be charged, instead of you not looking for bullying as the offense. So these are 3 offenses that we can charge for as police officers, and the other serious ones as well, coming out of bullying.
That's right, and I'm happy that there are charges that can be applied for persons who take those types of actions. We're going to go for a short break before we continue in studio this morning, and we hope that you stay with us when we come back. But before we do so, we have to go, and we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Kyrie People presents Runaway. Runaway Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach from 12 noon to 7 p.m. with the All-Stars Band featuring College Boy Jesse
Who want to drink rum with me? Everybody come let me
and
go.
Ding Dong.
I wanna ramage and dig something and break away.
Guest artist Mama Nappy
Can you have a hold on me while you want me to?
and Waddies. Your DJ's Mighty Crush and Selected 3D. Your MC, Snoopy. This is a $600 premium all-inclusive event. Get your tickets now at Sans Fashion, D Coliseum Mall, Shade Monkey, Lust Restaurant and Lounge, All City Mall, Gonzalez One Stop Shop Scarborough, and Dakers Beauty Supply Sport Mall. The after party is at Jade Monkey Bar and Grill. For more info, call 483-2264, 742-1674, or 731-5916. Runaway, Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach, Tobago.
The biggest and sexy.
Now here what's going on. You see this section? It makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada. Oh.
Plead for angels to get them pray for. They really need it too. When you play with
Oh my goodness. And as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
never wanna leave cause the drinks them running for throw. Cause I really feel a vibe every time I start right down and a band like this, man, it's nothing like this. Not you be like you, for angel me say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is Pina Colada, something nice with a little bit of spice, and of course, not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Tell a cruise, make the border. Say whoa.
We are on the road with Pina Colada. Boom, boom.
Swap done. Track 7. Tobago, have a plan.
Let me go now. Yes.
Yes.
Let me go.
If you want life in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago. If you want vibes in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago.
Wanted this all of my life. One place with all of my life. So everything that I need is all on the island. You can come in, stay more than a while. So go catch your friends, bring something, and pack up your bag, let's go. If you're looking elsewhere, na 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 na. If you're going elsewhere, na na na.
Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're just at 7:46 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 a.m., you have just about 40 minutes to get the children off to school and yourself at work. Remember to drive safely on our nation's roads because we want you to get there safely this morning. We're going to open our phone lines this morning. Yes, the phone lines are going to be open this morning and we could call in and talk about the topic that we're on this morning is bullying, identifying the signs, what you can do to prevent bullying or to protect yourself from bullies. The phone lines are open. It's 284-6597. So you can call in, ask questions, leave comments or remarks as we go through the conversation. We continue this morning with Inspector Sheila Prince as we continue talking about bullying. And we want to start now talking about the signs. How do you know that your child is being bullied? Because the child might not necessarily be able to articulate. Let's say, for instance, it's a younger child. They mightn't be able to articulate, "Mommy, I'm being bullied." Or they might be able to, but they don't want to say because they might feel, how do I tell mommy that I am being bullied? So how, as a parent, mommy or daddy, how do you identify the signs that your child is being bullied?
Okay, so there are a few signs that parents and guardians should look for. Changes in the mood and the behavior of their children. So if you have an increased anxiety, children can become, those who were open, they now become introverts, all right, and very fearful of going to school. When you say time for school, they become fearful, and not only in school, but wherever the children, like the dojos and stuff like that for the children, and to participate in these activities that bullying is come. So the children have an anxiety attack, and they become unusually anxious. Academic issues. Children who were, what we call bright or, being ahead of the class, and now the grades are now declining and they are reluctant to go to school. They have sleep issues. They might be up all night. They don't want to sleep. They're fearful of closing their eyes. Some might even wet their beds. All right. We have, avoiding school all entirely. Yes, the parents are dropping them to school, but they are missing classes. They are running away from school because they want to get away from bullying. Nightmares is another thing. Parents, look out for that. Look out for the physical sign, these unexplained injuries, the damage to their books, their bags, their lunch bags. These are some of the popular ones that we want parents to be mindful. Pay attention to your child. Pay attention to your children at all times. You might miss it because you have so much things to do, because we multitask as parents, but take a little time and just calm yourself down and pay attention to your loved ones.
What about, something came to my mind while you were speaking there, what about stuff like journaling? You might find that your child they might now have a little book that they keep in, they're hiding it, they're writing their feelings in there. So you have to do things like searching their room, checking their bags, looking for...
We can do that, but we don't want to encroach on their privacy, because children like to write. But sometimes, you could ask them, let me see where you write there.
Inspector, let me ask you this, what privacy are you talking about?
Well, a 15-year-old may not want to open and come and say, she might write it, I saw Mark today, or, something. And you don't want mommy to see that, because mommy might, read more into it when there is nothing. But, as you said, the journal, you can read the journal. But, I feel that children I'm not saying under 10, like 16 years old that have some journal, it's kind of, might just kind of encroach on their privacy. That's just me. That's just my opinion.
I totally understand why we want to give them that measure of independence. You still want to be very aware as to what is happening with them. Sometimes I've noticed too, some children take to drawing or doodling. You see them drawing some things, and sometimes the drawing, you're trying to figure out what are you drawing, because you can't identify the object or the image that they are drawing, or you might just see them just marking or defacing something, so another sign of anxiety.
Those are another signs. Oh, yes. Those are signs. Sometimes children draw out what's happening to them. And if you are a parent and not in tune with your child, you can miss it. You can miss it. And sometimes this bullying helps children to run away from home. All right. And sometimes you as parents want to know what's happening. It may not be anything at home, but it's something at school. So parents could go to school and check up on their children. How was your day today? What did you do? create that open dialogue with your child so she feels comfortable, he feels comfortable. Just come in and say, Mommy, this happened in school today.
And sometimes you have to ask probing questions.
Probing questions to
because
get the information that you want to ensure that your loved one that you send off to school come back just as how you send them off.
Yes, because sometimes you might ask them, how was your day? It was good. And that's
And
the
that
end
was
of
it.
it.
Yeah. What do you mean good? Like, what is your term of being good? You know, and just that's why it's always tell parents talk, have that open dialogue with your children.
Yeah, you have to engage in conversation with your children. And as you said, you must know your child. You have to know when their mood changes. You have to know when, let's say, for instance, you're used to talking and having conversations. All of a sudden, they're giving you one-word answers. You know, so you have to pay attention to the signs that will come from your children and those who reside in your space, those who you have responsibility for in terms of caring for them. Because, I mean, bullying is a really, really serious thing. And sometimes the signs can be so subtle that you don't even know that something is happening. So you really have to pay the extra attention to ensure that, you know, they get that type of attention. Remember, the phone lines are open. I believe we have somebody online this morning. We're going to take your call this morning. Go ahead. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, President. Good morning. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Hello, good morning. Right. It's so nice. It's such a lovely topic this morning. Plenty times when bullying is so prevalent is because there's no consequences to these people's actions. And it's so nice that you all are talking about the parents. Hello?
So go ahead, please. I am hearing
Right.
this.
Yes, it's so nice that you all are talking about the parents. What about the consequences to the parents? I know you just mentioned about some of the charges that the child could get. Is there any charges for the parent of these children? Is there any consequences that could happen to the parents of these child? Because most times we focus on the child, but we don't really focus on the parents. Is there any charges that could be laid against the parents or anything like that?
Well, thank you for your question. There are not really any charges that we can lay on the parents for a child who is bullying another. What we do, we have something called mediation. We bring in the child and the parents, everybody who is involved, and we have a form of mediation at the station level or even mediation at the school level. But if it's something really serious that warrants to before the court, then it will be for the child to pay that consequence. But there is nothing, I have never dealt with anything where we charge a parent because the child has been bullying another. I hope that answers your question, sir.
And while you've answered that question, I feel as if, and I understand where the caller is coming from, because
holding the parents accountable.
You have to, I mean, I feel as if the parents have to be held accountable. Because while you are saying we might charge the child or, you know, they will pay the consequences, if a parent knows that, listen, I too can pay the consequences, because sometimes the parents throw their hands up in the air and they say, well, you know, I try with this child and I don't know, and they take a hands-off approach. And so I understand where you're coming from, caller, this morning, and I feel as if we need to revisit that situation there and probably put something in place where the parent can be held accountable, at least up to some point, where they too will be charged for something, you know, so that they know this is very serious, so they will take it, because a bully is raised at home.
Yes.
It doesn't matter the circumstances, whether they are being bullied in school. The first place of contact is at home. The parent, as you mentioned earlier, the parent has to monitor change in behavior. If the child is becoming aggressive, if the child is rebellious, the situation at home changes that cause the child to behave like this. You have to be the one to ensure that you keep the child in a stable place. So if you know that the child is a bully, or you see the child, you know, let's say for instance they have siblings and all of a sudden they start shouting at the siblings, you have to intervene at that point. So if you allow this to continue, then you have to be held accountable for the actions that this child will take on the outside as well.
Okay, so let me say this. It's not that parents never been held accountable for the children's behavior. They are. Because if there are circumstances that parents go before the court for child abandonment and stuff like, and things like that, offenses like that. It's not that they don't have stuff that parents are held accountable for. But as I said, bullying I have never dealt with it, bringing a parent before the court because the child was bullying another. We start with the softer side first, unless that this child really take a knife and stab the child, then it will be something different.
Okay, that brings more clarity to the situation there. You know, callers, the lines are open. You can call in, ask your questions, leave your comments or your concerns as we continue this conversation on bullying this morning. We're going through the phases and, you know, to understand what we can do legally to safeguard ourselves from being bullied, and how we can provide that measure of support to persons who end up being bullies because of changes in their home environment, social changes, you know, so we want to be able to balance the scales, as it were, how to protect yourself and how to provide support for the bully and the person who is being the victim of bullying. You know, and the conversation really is a very important one because we don't get to speak about these things openly. We speak about them from a place of I'm angry, and you're just talking. But to get information and to get guidelines, what we can do, who we can reach out to for help in this situation is what is very important, I find. And as I mentioned before, we had mental health last week, and we spoke with persons representing the mental health aspect of things, and they too gave some guidelines. And now having the guidelines in terms of the legal approach that you can take and the support that is provided for persons who are being bullied is a very, very important one. And I want you to go through again the units that deals with bullying and provides a measure of support so that people know that they can reach out to the TTPS to get that measure of support as well.
Okay, so all stations within Tobago deals with bullying, because most of these stations have secondary schools and primary schools there. All right, so we have community police. They engage schools. They have seminars, they have lectures, they go to the schools and they have these lectures on everything, on bullying, on sexual touching and grooming. You have the special victims unit. All right. They all have a demand program for schools. We have, if you think that your child is being bullied, or your child, just, you know, you think that the police will be able to assist by talking to you, you can bring them in any station. We have the victim support unit that can treat with your children. We have the social worker that is part of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So these units are readily available to assist parents in treating with bullying or anything that, you know, that they feel that they can't treat with. You can bring them to the station, and we are willing to help.
And you know, I want to ask this question in terms of, because you said that there is a unit in school, they go to the schools, they have the conversations. In the case where a child is being bullied at school, at what point does the police intervene in the situation? We had a recent case at the Mason Hall Secondary School. At what point does the police intervene, and what actions are taken against the person who commits, you say it's not a crime, but the act of bullying or whatever aspect that might be a situation that takes a legal approach? When does the police intervene in the schools?
All right, so let me just go back to you. Bullying, and I said bullying is not a crime. We don't have a charge called bullying. What we do, we can charge for the assault by beating, the harassment, and the assault of threats. All right, these are some of the offenses that persons can be charged, right? So that's under the umbrella of bullying. All right, so you talk about what is available for parents.
No, at what stage?
All right, so we only will know about what's happening in the school
if it is reported.
If it's reported. That's why I said early on that we have a demand program that we go to the schools, but only if it's reported to the police, then we are aware, then we'll be able to act on the reports.
Okay. Well, you know, I think the conversation, we off to a good start with the conversation as it relates to bullying, and I hope that our viewers, that you got the information. Of course, if you have burning questions, you can still submit your questions via our live stream or, you know, on our Facebook pages. Let us know what your thoughts are in terms of bullying, how it is dealt with here in Trinidad and Tobago, and what type of recommendations you would make. I mean, we might not be able to change the law, but if we have a voice, then we could start the conversation for what type of change we're looking for here in the spaces where we reside. Remember, we want to live comfortably, we want to live at peace with each other, and we want to be sure that when we walk out on the street, street, when we send our children to school, that they are comfortable, they are not traumatized, and that they are going there to learn, to develop friendships, and in order to develop themselves as citizens here in Trinidad and Tobago. So leave your comments, leave your reviews, leave your recommendations. Let us start the conversation where bullying is concerned so that we can put an end to it, we can have a better understanding of it, and we can work together as partners to ensure that bullying is reduced and eliminated from our schools and our spaces here on the island of Tobago. In closing, Inspector, is there anything that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yes, I would like to say to everyone, we know about the upsurge in crime within the Tobago space, and we still invite the public to give us information. You can come to the station, you can call 555 tips, or you can go the 211 way. Any way that you have this information, please come forward with the information, and we'll be able to solve some of these homicides, and we want to hear from you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Inspector Sheila Prince, for coming this morning.
Thank you very much
and having the conversation this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, so we ask that you stay with us. And as you stay with us, of course, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Do have a wonderful day.
To 6 p.m. So there will be demonstrations, there will be tree planting activity. We will be putting on demonstrations in terms of sustainable waste disposal, like composting. There will be educational items on recycling, as well as reusable packaging and biodegradable packaging. We believe that it was important to highlight in this time sustainable environmental living and environmental stewardship. We felt that it was necessary to bring across this educational aspect, apart from just creating a space for people to shop and showcase their wares.
We have a series of events planned for 2024, beginning with the Green Market here at the Kendall Farm School on October 3rd. And following that, we have the Grand Exhibition, which is what everyone thinks of when they think of World Food Day. And that is on October 16th and 17th. Following that, we have several other events. We have a horticulture market. We have the Lamb Festival. We have a Women in Agriculture Expo on November 29th. And then we have a Chocolate and Mud Festival at the Lure compound on December 1st. In between, we have many seminars and training series happening. So again, pay attention to the Facebook page. The dates are scattered throughout the October and November time period. And then we have a tractor caravan going to different schools and showing the school kids what agriculture life can be like.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
organization is an organization we come together in these times to actually see how much people we can assist and create some positive impact in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, this is such a prestige feeling. It's a feeling that, I mean, forget the hard work, however, it's well deserved, and I'm feeling very good and very confident about it. Yeah.
I am very honored to receive the award on behalf of Mount St. George. We know we have some communities within Tobago that are usually stigmatized and so on, and Mount St. George from time to time tend to be one, but I am happy that receiving an award like this shows that Mount St. George is still doing well, we are still excelling, and we are still a force to be reckoned with.
Very worthwhile entrepreneurs, civic-minded and socially conscious individuals being awarded, and today is perhaps no better day to honor them. It's a public day, and so it's a good day to honor patriotism above everything else.
Apart from us being resilient, apart from us being loving, we are very generous people, and this year in particular I felt it necessary to really highlight the work of those who may go unnoticed, but most importantly those persons who are touching lives in Tobago and by extension Trinidad and Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
This International Day of Peace reminds us the solutions of cultivating peace are in our hands. Cultivating a culture of peace means replacing division. It means replacing disempowerment. It means replacing despair, and we replace it with justice, with equality, and hope for all mankind. The universal theme this year is cultivating a culture of peace. And one must say that this theme is most fitting for such a time like this. Agreed? Our goal at the Community Mediation Center is to engender a culture of peace throughout our little island, Tobago.
I think it is critical for us to commemorate this day as we move towards building a more diverse and inclusive society. Peace has to be our foundation.
Given the situation where crime is concerned throughout the country, I think celebrating peace, World International Peace Day, is very vital as a reminder to us as a people that we should live in peace and unity, and that we should appreciate each other as a people.
Peace is a projection of self. Whatever we think, whatever we feel, it projects peace. Peace is very important at this time in Tobago with all the crime happening, and you know, it all stems from home. Charity begins at home. It don't end abroad, but it continues. So with peace within and at the home, it can project outside as an individual.
I want to encourage all of us to actively think about what we do every day. Actively think about every single conversation that we have, every single email that we send, every single whatever that we do, to ensure that it is one that engenders and cultivates peace.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up
right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Tobago has recorded another murder, raising the island's 2024 murder toll to 25. The victim, identified as 37-year-old Mark Archer, also known as Marcus, held dual citizenship in Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. Archer's body was discovered by a passerby around 8 a.m. on the beach behind the A&R Robinson International Airport runway with a wound to his neck. He was employed by FM Contractors Limited and was working on the new airport project. Additionally, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines called on young people to actively contribute to enhancing Trinidad and Tobago's disaster preparedness. Hines delivered a statement at the International Day for Disaster Reduction, aligned with this year's theme, Empowering the Next Generation for Disaster Resilience. He praised the young people for strengthening resilience at all levels and urged them to expand their knowledge of disaster management while inspiring others to do the same amid rising climate-related risks. And finally, Tabakit MP Anita Haynes-Allen has called for a cultural shift in Trinidad and Tobago to address issues of bullying across several sectors. Haynes-Allen emphasized the need to create safe, supportive environments in schools, workplaces, and society at large where people can thrive. She highlighted that bullying is prevalent not only among students, but also among peers, teachers, and individuals in positions of power, contributing to toxic environments and poor mental health. She urged the nation to reflect and act on these issues to prevent this critical moment in the national's history from being overlooked. And that was on News in 90 Seconds.
You, I'm in the mix of everything. I don't know about you, but I am making a party. That's because I am the party genie. I am the party genie. I am the party genie. I'm responsible for this party.
Baby, time is never enough. Even if we try to turn back the clock, just you and I, the present is us. So let we enjoy this now, girl. I got throwback baby, throwback baby, throwback baby. Like back in time, back on my girl. Throwback baby, throwback baby, throwback baby. Like back in time, back on my girl. Go back, go back, go back, go back.
Well, you've seen it there, guys. This Wednesday, the people are going to run away to Pigeon Point Beach Front. And we have in studio with us to talk about this runaway session, Mr. Avery Seaton. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, everybody. Yes.
Yeah, so we are kicking start the Tobago 2024 Carnival, the 5th season, with this runaway event at Pigeon Point, Tobago. And this is happening this Wednesday, which is October the 16th. And it's going to be from 12 noon to 7 p.m. And it's a premium all-inclusive fete. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, you just said it. It's premium. Premium means it's on top. It's a cream on the top. A runaway is an event. It's not necessarily an event, it's an experience. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. You gotta get tickets early. And on this event, you know, we have entertainment. Our entertainment will be the World Match Champion, Mr. Teach himself,
Right.
Teacher, alongside Ding Dong, Colors Boy Jesse. You know, we have the People Champion. I call the People Champion. You know, Farmer Nappy will be there. So it's an experience, and I mean, just when you come in, you don't want to leave.
Right. And I see that, you guys, when you talk about premium, all inclusive, there would be a lot of food and drinks, but more food. So tell us about what's on the menu.
Well, man, anything you desire.
Right.
From Creole to East Indian, anything you desire there, will be there. It's about 4 to 5 food stations and drink stations as I like. So you just come in, get your glass, and just have fun.
Oh, right. And so, when we are in Tobago and we're talking about events, usually, when you say 12 noon, people are going to start, trickling in around 3. So is it that when you say 12, it's 12 and it's starting at 12 and you want persons to be there at the venue? So start eating, start drinking, start having a good time at 12?
Most of the times in work, you run away lunchtime.
Right.
You always run away on a lunchtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, runaway is from 12. We start at 12. From 12 to 7. Just have to just get there.
Right. So you don't want to miss out on any of those hours.
No.
And I guess the earlier you get started, the better for you. So you have a number of, as you indicated, soca artists that are going to be there.
Mm.
You have the All-Star Band featuring the Road March champion, Michael Teja, as well as Ding Dong and College Boy Jesse and Farmer Nappy. So this is what persons can expect. And the ticket is only $600. So you get all of that for only $600, and the tickets can be found at the Jade Monkey in Crown Point, as well as Sands Fashion.
Yes.
At the Coliseum Mall, as well as Lost Restaurant and Lounge at the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands, Gonzalez One Stop Shop in Scarborough, and Dacre's Beauty Supply Store at the Port Mall in Scarborough. And if you want to get more information concerning tickets for maybe you and a group of friends and family who are going to be on the island of Tobago for the event here on Wednesday at 12 noon, you can call 684-4528. That's 684-4528. And remember that the dress code is bright colors.
Yes, bright colors. Remember, you run away, it's on the beach. Sunlight.
Right. So because we're on the beach, we're talking resort wear and bright colors. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Shine like the sun this Wednesday as you run away to have a great time to start the carnival season here in Tobago for the 2024 October Carnival. So we want to thank you so much, Mr. Seaton, for coming on and talking about the Runaway event this Wednesday in Pigeon Point. Kyrie People presents Runaway in Pigeon Point on this Wednesday, and I hope you guys are going to be there. Get your tickets, go down to Lusk, go down to Jade Monkey, go down to the Coliseum, and get your tickets. All right?
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Save the date.
Save the date. All right? So, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to be back right after this. See you soon.
Kyrie People presents Runaway. Runaway, Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach from 12 noon to 7 p.m. with the All-Stars Band featuring College Boy Jesse.
Who want to drink rum with me? Everybody come there.
And Ding Dong.
I wanna Ramadan and drink something and break away.
Guest artist Farmer Nappy.
Hey you, girl, you have a hold on me. What you want me to?
And Waddings. Your DJ's Mighty Crush and Selected 3D. Your MC, Snoopy. This is a $600 premium all-inclusive event. Get your tickets now at Sands Fashion, the Coliseum Mall, Jade Monkey, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Gulf City Mall, Gonzalez One Stop Shop Scarborough, and Dacre's Beauty Supply Sport Mall. The after party is at Jade Monkey Bar and Grill. For more info, call 483-2264, 742-1674, or 731-5916. Runaway, Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach, Tobago.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Tell them I can't do even bother calling me. Tell them I can't. I said tell them I can't do even bother calling me. Tell them.
Tobago Carnival is just around the corner, and Bethel Credit Union has you covered. Whether you're prepping for costumes, parties, giveaways, or a staycation, it's all within your reach with our Carnival loan sale. For as little as $900 a month, yes, $900 a month, you can get the funds you need to make this Carnival season unforgettable. At Bethel Credit Union, we're here to make your celebration dreams a reality. Visit us today or call 639-8226 for more information. Normal lending criteria applies, because we see you at BCU.
Now here what's going on, you see this section, it makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada.
Oh. For angels the girl them crave for, they really need it too. When you play with
oh my goodness, and as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
Never wanna leave, cause the drinks them running for throw. Cause I really feel a vibe every time I start right down and a band like this, man, it's nothing like this, not you be like you. For angel me say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is Pina Colada, something nice with a little bit of spice, and of course, not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Cruise make the border.
We are on the road with Pina Colada. Boom, boom.
good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, this morning we continue our conversation by talking about how Tobago moves forward after that budget allocation. Now, this morning to have that conversation with me, I have former Assemblyman Mr. Max James. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, and thanks for having me as usual.
So, before we start off, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to focus on other aspects of my life, not only the political aspect.
Well, good to know. But
Yes.
have you been able to pay some attention to the budget?
I paid little attention to it this year.
All right.
And the fact being is that it is the same old situation year after year. And quite frankly, we have to look for solutions to what is happening here in Tobago, and to find pathways, new pathways, to solve the yearly debacle, the yearly underfunding, to redefine how Tobago should pursue its self-determination vis-a-vis that of the entire nation, Trinidad and Tobago. So in my mind, that's where the discussion should be centered at this stage, and not necessarily what we got this year. Because what we got this year and what we're likely to get this year and what we got last year, it hasn't moved Tobago forward, regardless of whether the TPP is in governance or in government or PNM or whoever. Until we find an effective solution to Tobago's self-determination, we'll come back here and argue over the budgetary allocations. Simply put, it hasn't worked, and therefore the time has come where serious decisions must be taken, because the PNM could win the next elections or they could lose it here in Tobago. We don't know. The UNC could win the next elections, or the PNM could win it. But there will always be some kind of polemic, some kind of confusion. And we want to find, as I said, some kind of new pathway to resolving this issue.
Right. And what does that new pathway look like for you? Because even in conversations with the Chief Technical Advisor at the Division of Finance, Mr. Anselm Richards, a new pathway for him looks like revisiting that DRC ruling. You know, a new pathway for him, you know, speaks to the fact that the initial ruling is outdated today when we look at the population size for Tobago. So for you, what does a new pathway forward look like?
Well, I was a secretary in the Tobago House Assembly when that measure was put into the legislation, Act number 40. And then it was triggered when we got underfunding in the time of Basdio Pandey and Kamla Prasad Desessa and all of them, the UNC. And it was useful then as a start and as some kind of measure to help us here in Tobago in terms of our development aspect or development side in Tobago. But it was dead in the waters as swiftly as it came.
Right.
It was dead in the waters. And we only played along with it for all these years. None of the governments, because we were only in power for 4 years, the PNM, the successive PNM administrations did nothing about it. You would time and time again hear one of the former chief secretaries, that is over London, say, he's comfortable, or I'm not uncomfortable. And that did nothing to assuage the real concerns, the serious concerns, and the underpinnings of our expectations and our society here in Tobago. It did nothing. And we are still at that stage where people will say, what, you know, hearing that's a new talk. You spent all the money on Trinidad contractors. The economy isn't moving. We need to do more. And you squandered the money, and you always have that battle. So you underfunded, and then the talk is, how did you spend the money? It is not for anybody in Trinidad to determine how we spend the money. We don't dictate for what we loosely call the central government how they spent money in Trinidad. We don't dictate to them, but they want to dictate for us here in Tobago how the money should be spent. And unless the law had something otherwise, you find that the problem here is that you have to, on a yearly basis, submit those estimates. But that's a redundant process, because even if you submit those estimates, there's a significant proviso or a shackle that keeps us at 4.0% and 6.9%. So it's really a useless exercise, because regardless of whatever estimates you send, the best minds that might go and the best thinking that might go into the budgetary arrangements, you're still shackled to 4.03, 6.9. Not taken into consideration. Even if the law says, look at the growth centers in Trinidad, look at the fact that Tobago is separated by sea, look at all those kinds of things, look at how we're supposed to grow and develop in Tobago vis-a-vis Trinidad. It's a waste of time. It has not worked. I would not necessarily agree with the technical advisor to the chief secretary when he says we need to revisit that particular clause in the act. The whole act needs to be revamped. Because what will you come up with? I haven't seen any convincing argument from that particular individual or anybody in the assembly for that matter to justify what Tobago really should need. So we need to come up with a formula, not just to revisit the Dispute Resolution Commission clause. What we really need is to come up with ideas, a particular formula that says this is what it should be, and we are certain this is what. Some people say 10% of the budget, and I ask, how did you arrive at 10%? Some people say 30%, and I ask, how did you arrive at 30%? You can't just pluck figures out of the air.
His justification was based on Tobago's population growth rate since then to now.
That's not a good argument for me. It cannot be, because
if the current justification is that every citizen should be getting $1 in the current allocation, he's indicating that it is not so.
But how do you arrive at that notion that every Tobagonian should get $1 or $5 or $10? What determines that? That's the issue. You see the Prime Minister at this stage looking to buy part of, I think it's the Manatee field, some gas field somewhere between Trinidad, the mainland Trinidad and Venezuela. Yet we have gas fields north and northwest of Tobago, which he's not discussing at all. We should be in a position, just as Trinidad is in a position, to take all the wealth of the nation and give us 4.03%. The wealth of Tobago should be ours to exploit. That's where the discussion should be. What is Tobago likely to make? What is Tobago likely to make had our hydrocarbons, our gas and oil north and northwest of Tobago be exploited? That's where we need to quantify those things. Not even the quantification. We just need to say, this is yours, because we have it. Taxes are paid for Tobago and Trinidad, robbing us of our revenue intake. So the entire legislation needs to be worked. You have the question of 7 nautical miles, whether it should be 12 nautical miles. Why don't we have the median coordinates between Tobago and Trinidad? And then they say, well, it's one country, but it has not worked for us. So the fact that it has not worked for us, then we need to reconfigure. You had in the Tobago bill that is likely to be placed in the Parliament in this particular term, where it says that the central government could appropriate for itself any land in Tobago for use of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So whilst you're talking self-determination, there are significant provisos or significant clauses in the Tobago bill that still shackles us or still shackle us. You see? And therefore, the conversation again for Tobagonians should be whether West Tobago. These things are not working for us. Then there's the whole question of town and country planning. The governmental structure that is proposed in the bill is not working for us. How persons are selected by the president, and we are president which we don't vote for, which we have no way of selecting or electing, as the case may be, in the electoral college. So it's a very dim future I see. It doesn't give us hope. This year again, the Tobago's developmental aspirations have been damned.
Right, and moving forward, what steps do you think should be taken in this fiscal year to ensure that some of the development projects are undertaken despite the $205 million development budget?
We have to remember that the developmental budget and the sums given to it for Tobago this year, a lot of it has to be used for the payment of old bills. Those are facts. We wouldn't debate that. There are old bills that came across from the time of Ansel Dennis and even perhaps further back. And therefore, what do? Those are commitments. So by the time the money arrives, there's a significant a significant commitment that erodes your decision making, erodes what you have, and hence your developmental trust. So by the time the money comes, there's nothing in the kitty to do any serious work. And there's where we are. And I think that Tobago needs to wake up, whether you're PNM or whether you're TPP or PDP or whatever we have, political configuration we have here in Tobago. We need to wake up and
so what can they do to get the projects off the ground in the meantime?
Well, what just the same way they have been doing, talk to contractors who have the money and they pay in pieces as they go along, and even that, when you do that, you're being criticized to say that you're giving Trinidad contractors the lion's share of what is available. But people seem to forget that there was, in fact, an investigation into what took place during the time of Ansel Dennis. So you couldn't give the Tobago contractors, when there was an ongoing and active investigation, still has not been completed. I perhaps might chide the Chief Secretary for not telling us more on that. He needs to tell us whether those investigations are completed, what is the status of them, and how he intends to prosecute that issue going forward, because he'll be faced with a barrage of criticisms and you're not giving Tobago contractors any work. But that is not altogether true, because from my understanding, some of them have been getting some form of contracts here or there. But as I said, there isn't enough to go around. From the time the money comes, it's almost done.
Understood. But we're going to take a quick break right here and we're going to come back and continue this conversation. So see you soon, guys.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago,
in Tobago.
Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making the plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Kyrie People presents Runaway. Runaway Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach from 12 noon to 7 p.m. with the All-Stars Band featuring College Boy Jesse
Who want to drink from with me? Everybody come there.
and Ding Dong.
I wanna Ramade and drink something and break away.
Guest artist Mama Nappy
Girl, you have a hold on me what you want me to
and Waddings. Your DJ's Mighty Crush and Selected 3D. Your MC, Snoopy. This is a $600 premium all-inclusive event. Get your tickets now at Sands Fashion, The Coliseum Mall, Jade Monkey, Lust Restaurant and Lounge, All City Mall, Gonzalez One Stop Shop Scarborough, and Dickers Beauty Supply Sport Mall. The after party is at Jade Monkey Bar and Grill. For more info, call 483-2264, 742-1674, or 731-5916. Runaway, Wednesday, October 16th at the iconic Pigeon Point Beach, Tobago.
Blue food came from dasheen. Locally, we look at dasheen, which when you boil it, you get a blue coloration.
Are you ready for Tobago Blue Food Festival 2024? Join us on October 20th for an unforgettable celebration of Tobago's unique cuisine. Enjoy live cooking demonstrations, local music, and cultural performances throughout the day. This festival has something for every palate. It's all happening October 20th in Bloody Bay. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info and make sure you're part of this one-of-a-kind culinary event.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it again.
That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, we have been chatting with former Assemblyman Max James, and we're talking about the Tobago budgetary allocation for the fiscal year 2024-2025. And so, welcome back, Mr. James. And
thank you very much.
So, there has been conversations in the space regarding mismanagement of funds. There's the argument that it's not about the allocation, but about your ability to manage said allocation. Do you think that this administration is doing a good job at managing the allocation that they have?
Well, there'll always be differences of opinion as to where money should be spent, how it should be spent, how fast it should be spent. And every administration will be subject to that criticism. Some may argue it's a fair criticism, some may say it's an unfair criticism. I tend to be somewhere in the middle, because everybody will have what you call the value opinion. And at the end of the day, what we will perhaps judge the performance of any particular administration is whether they held true to their mandate or the manifesto, as the case may be. Whether there were any barriers to preventing them from accomplishing what they said they will do or what they have set out to do. What were the priorities? Did you gain your priorities from the people who voted you or from Tobago as a whole? Those things to me would be the template by which any administration should be judged. We could look around Tobago and see areas of significant improvement. I have my own criticisms, and I'm hoping privately that those things can be addressed in this last fiscal year and an election year, so to speak. But I think that they have done reasonably well considering the constraints and barriers that they would have had. So that, in a nutshell, you have to look at what people said that they will do. They will have to justify what they have not done to the population and say, we couldn't do this because of this or that. So I think there's yet some time to go in which judgment can be passed.
Do you think that the Tobago Carnival is a good investment that this administration has made, specifically when we have a situation where a budget for the 2024 October Carnival has not been forthcoming?
Carnival really is not my thing. I tend to be very moralistic, so to speak. I really don't like to see women parading themselves in feathers, and you've seen almost where the areas where joy comes to a man. And that really is not a good thing. I don't even grow up my daughters to do that kind of thing, to be almost naked in the street. Or that's my own view. Don't lash me or don't pong me for saying that, but that's my view. But if you don't do the carnival, they will say that you're not supporting the culture. I don't know if this kind of carnival is truly a reflection of our culture. Understand my words. And therefore, it's one of the areas that I perhaps will, people might criticize me for saying I don't support Carnival in the present form, mark my words, in the form it has taken. If you don't do the Carnival, whatever the mitigating circumstances, people will say, we're not going to vote for you. The Panmen can't make money, the Calypsonians can't make money. I have no problem with that side of it. I love Calypso, I like Pan, I'm a musician. There's the other side I have a problem with, in the form that it is shaped in respect of those kinds of celebrations in Tobago. But that is a decision that they will have to take and they have to deal with. But I say yes to Carnival, but not in the form it has taken over the years.
But in terms of the allocation towards Carnival, do you think that it is a viable way for this administration to distribute the limited resources that we have?
Well, I don't know. Again, my answer will be biased against it. If I had my way, I would spend, if that's me personally, I would spend it on more development aspects where Tobago needs that kind of input.
But the Tobago Carnival is expected to draw in a number of tourists, and also, as you indicated, help to bring some vibrance and some life to the orange economy with the photographers, videographers, the calypsonians, the dancers, the promoters, and all of these persons within that industry. So what would you have done differently to engage that audience while being able to attract, international tourists to come to the island?
I think it's only marketing of what we have and what we're likely to have, so that you'll have the influx of people and hence influx of critical revenue that is needed for the Tobago economy. But in terms of the questions before, on the whole Carnival issue, for me, as I said, and I don't want to beat it too much, is that I don't like the spectacle where women are basically without clothes on the streets. I think there could be a different form where you can still have the influx. And that is an imported kind of a culture from Brazil and Trinidad and so forth. I don't think we need to follow that particular element of Carnival. You could still get the successes without that exposure of women's bodies over 3 or 4 days, as the case may be. But again, in terms of the budgetary allocations, yes, certainly, because it will bring in the kind of revenues that are sorely needed. But the planners need to sit down and to really market Tobago in a particular kind of way. I don't know if they have done a sufficiency of that. They need to look at it, but marketing will always help.
Do you think that the formation of a number of these companies under the division assist with spreading the allocation effectively?
We are still developing. And think that the development aspect of Tobago is still being tested. The jury is still out on it. So you have TPAC, you have the Tobago Festival Commission. Those are companies set up to promote culture and the arts and all of those kinds of things. And perhaps those two are necessary, because I don't know, especially TPAC. I haven't seen, or we are not yet experiencing its full impact on the Tobago economy and for people's development as a whole. So I would say yes to TPAC. I would say, well, the Tobago Festival Commission has been, I think, as long as we had the Tobago House of Assembly. But of course, as any developing nation or region, you have to try things. And I won't lash it, as some people might be wont to lash it. And I think that is important to have commissions and these satellite bodies to assist Tobago's developments.
Yeah, but not only in the area of culture, the arts, and performance and stuff like that, but we see a number of these companies coming up under the different divisions, like under food security, under the division of settlements, and all these other divisions creating these companies. Do you think that this is an alternative means of trickling funding from external bodies into the divisions, or do you think that is an effective means of helping to allocate those scarce resources?
We are still too young as a region of the entire nation, and so let us see. My only problem with those new companies and bodies is that the job security that it offers to workers is something I have a concern with, particular TADCO and the likes. Even in TPAC, I've had to go there as a consultant, as a trade unionist, to defend workers. The whole question of employee rights need to be addressed. I don't think that the policy from the Executive Council down to those boards have been properly enunciated. I don't think the governance is clear. You have boards and chairpersons doing what they feel they should do, and even supported by certain secretaries in the Assembly. So the whole question of human resource management is sorely lacking. And you cannot and must not have boards and chairman of boards doing what they think they should do.
So is it that
So
there is no job security within the companies?
Where you're talking about and Tatco, for instance, where almost to a man the whole company or everybody was basically fired based on the description of the law, and then you bring in fresh people. So you lose your systemic knowledge, and then somehow, to me, it's a means of controlling what people do. I was talking to a director on a particular board the other day, on the same board of Tatco. I said it's a human resource management issue, and he would have said, "You see this thing about human resource management, that's a whole concept." I said, "Really? How come human resource management is a whole concept? And it's a dubious concept." I said, everything in life has to be managed. You have to manage yourself. It's personal management, personal development, and all of that. You put that collective as a whole under particular unit, and then you have what you're supposed to have, esprit de corps. And therefore, if you can't manage that, then we're in problems. So human resource management is something that people keep saying offensive things about. And I think we need to pay particular attention to the developmental aspect of all our human resources, the succession planning, because you have people leaving organizations, you lose systemic knowledge, and therefore the organizations that are here or there are poorer because you have not engaged in effective succession planning. I think there's where we are. We concentrate on engineering and medicine and all the rest of them, but the key component, the key modules, the key approaches to ensuring that you get what you're supposed to get for what you've been established to do is human resource management. And or human resource management scientists are paid scant courtesy. They are not taken seriously. And there's where we fall down in our public service delivery in the Tobago House of Assembly.
All right. And so one of the questions that I have in regards to the contractual arrangement for persons who work for these companies, is it that they don't have the same 3-year contract as workers under the assembly?
Right. And so, yes, they don't have that. That's a stipulation that was supposed to be honored. But again, you have whoever is the Secretary for Public Administration, if it's the Chief Secretary, he needs to be very clear and to hand on the policy as enunciated. And from since the time of Ansel Dennis, I think it was him that would have established the 3-year contract regime for persons in the Tobago House Assembly and certainly satellite bodies. And this administration has not done so. And that's a criticism, it's a fair criticism of this particular administration. Workers need to be given certainty and follow-up certainty and renewal of contracts. So you hear this argument that your contract came to an end due to the effluxion of time. And the law says no, you could only not renew someone's contract based on very narrow and but important pathways. The person would have had not performed properly, all right? Or if you are dismantling the entire unit or an entire organization, but that must come from executive council. Those are socio-political decisions, socio-economic decisions, but it must be done at the executive council level. So when you hear this nonsensical talk in the society, even from secretaries, that, well, the contract came to an end, because they might have had a bad deal under the PNN. You came and you met the people there. You have to find ways and means of dealing with what you have. The question of your policy, however, management and execution is a different issue. So you don't want to have people underneath you who are at a very senior level. You need to control what they do. So I could understand it at that level. But in a regular run-of-the-mill employee, you don't need to be employing those people. I was a labor secretary, and I debarred myself from hiring people at the lower levels, from range 46 downward, AO2. You have the administrator to hire those things based on very strict conditions. and a very strict budget, and you can monitor what they do, shortlist what they do. That's how it's done by and large in Trinidad, the other part of our country. So, but at the policy level, I can see the secretaries getting involved. And that is what I had put and was approved by the Assembly. It is the same PNM, however, under Overland that dismantled that. And it has followed suit throughout all these years. And I would tell people, if I have to choose between any party and the worker, I'll choose the worker. Because people depend on good administration, good HR management to deal with their livelihood. It is not sufficient to say a contract has come to an end. The law says that if the worker has performed creditably, you must renew the contract. So I want to tell workers outside there, the law supports you. If you have performed properly and creditably, your contract must or ought to be renewed. And what is the measurement tool to determine if someone has performed creditably? It is the human resource management aspect. It is the performance appraisal. It is the performance management. It is sorely lacking in the Tobago House Assembly from the time we left power to now. Politicians want to control who is employed and who is not employed, and that is wrong. It is patently wrong. And you're not going to get the kind of productivity and loyalty and harmony in the workplace when somebody is unsure whether the contract is going to be renewed. It's a very serious matter. The Chief Secretary campaigned on that.
Right.
That an employee should not have to fight for something that he or she is entitled to. And I think it's something that needs to be fixed very, very, very quickly.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. James. Now, unfortunately, we come to the end of this morning's discussions, but we want to thank you so much for giving us your time here and, bringing a different perspective to the budget conversation again. Thank you, guys. We want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Remember, you have a civic duty to help us grow and regain our following, just as we had before. As you know, we now have a new Facebook page. So remember to like, and share with your network. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Energy fill the skies.